Hiya, you alright? We're on the last video now, can you believe it? It's been a hell of a journey and you should be proud of yourself for getting this far. Now you might think that the last video is the most difficult, but it actually isn't, because we've laid the groundwork now, we've done all the hard work. Shape 8 is about refining the work we've done up until now, so nothing to worry about. Let's have a look at what we need to do. So before I bring the reference mesh in, the first thing I want to do is just add a shrink wrap modifier because I forgot at the end of the last one. So I'll just add a shrink wrap and I will set it to be our reference over here. And you can see that there's a bit of a jump there. There's some changes. I'm not too concerned about that. Again, if I spent more time working the mesh, I would get it closer to this. So let's see what we're working with here. So if I just turn this on and off, you can see the slight differences there. Okay, so I'll just apply that. And we have a little bit of funkiness here as well. I'm just going to add a mirror modifier so that the funkiness is mirrored. And I'll just apply that and then just smooth over these cracks a little bit. Okay, that's fine. And now I'll bring in my reference mesh and we can see what we need to do. Alright, so the first thing to note, I think, is the fact that this is all one piece now. It's the final model. We're going to join everything together, up that resolution a bit, and then just refine what we've got here. So one of the key things about this shape is, so you know these harsh transitions we have between the side of the head and the front of the head? Well, if you look at our Shape 8 reference, you can see that these are softer. They're still intact, you know, they're still the same transitions, it's just that now they're softer, okay? And as well as making hard transitions softer, we also want to be looking at making soft transitions harder in places where they're supposed to be, such as the eyelids and the eyelid crease and the centre line of the lips and places on the ears and stuff like that. So it's about making hard transitions softer and soft transitions harder, and also sort of preparing it for retopology as well. When we've retopologized this, as I've said a few times, a lot of this sculpting will be made a lot easier. I mean, particularly the lips as well, because what you do when you retopologize, you also create a mouth bag behind these lips, and once you have that and these lips aren't connected in the center, you can really manipulate them to be where you need them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join all these together. So I will select the head last so that it is my active object when we join and we retain the name head, which is what I want. I haven't actually named these eyes yet. I should have done that a while ago really. I'm going to write eyes proxy, just to remind myself that these aren't the final eyes. So now these are all joined together and I am going to press Shift R. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to jump into sculpt mode first, otherwise it's not going to do anything. Press Shift R. Let's just keep it at 0.01 so I don't lose any detail that we sculpted in the previous one and see how we look. So I'll press Control R to remesh these together. That looks pretty decent. Hopefully it's not too high poly. Smooth these transitions a bit. Now looking from a side view, and what you want with the head, underneath the jaw, you want this bottom part to be horizontal really, which I hadn't noticed before. You can see in the reference how this goes horizontally, yet the jaw goes up. Now we've joined everything together, it's just become blatantly obvious to me. I was looking down here into the side view. So let's just tweak that. Smooth some stuff out. I'm going to be honest, I feel like this is a bit high resolution and that I should come down a bit, but it's not too bad. I'm just smoothing some stuff out. Remember, you lose a bit of information when you go up in resolution, which we have done here on the torso. Up here it should be roughly the same though. Alright, so like I said, we want to smooth out these transitions here. Now while you want this to be smoother, you do want to retain a clear distinction between the side of the head and the top of the head. I do actually feel like we're a little bit high poly here, to be honest. In fact, I'm going to bring it down. We are going to lose a little bit of detail by doing this, but I'd rather lose detail in the face and bring that back rather than fight with a lumpy mesh, which is where this is going at the minute. So I'm going to press Shift R. I'm going to bring this up to, let's try and 0.0135, see how that looks. Okay, that's dropped it down a bit. How does that feel? Okay, that's much better. I'm happy with that. fact, if I add a shrink wrap modifier now, bearing in mind I've barely done anything, and also bear in mind those ears might not be quite right, but you'll notice that there isn't an awful lot of difference between where we started and where we're going to end up. So I'll turn that off. Let's not cheat. Smooth this transition on the cheekbone. This is where it all starts to come together and starts to look nice, but you do need to be careful. If you go too heavy on this smooth and you lose those planes, then you're knackered, because you need to go back a step then and start bringing them back. So you want to be careful, you want to tread carefully. So now I'm happy to go up in resolution again. Press Shift R, come up to 0.01 again, remesh. In fact, I'm just going to go a little bit higher, 0.008. Let's try that. And then just add the sharp lines where you want the sharp lines to be. This is all there is to it, really. When you're ready, go up in resolution again. Let's try 0.006. Remesh that. And really, there's not an awful lot else to say about it, because this is all it is. It's just going over what you've already done and refining it. So you can see how we've lost some information with the ear. This is from going down in resolution, then coming back up in resolution. But it's fine, because we can see what we need to do. We've left behind enough information to just go over this. And you're pretty much done. Sorry for the slightly abrupt ending, but there really wasn't much else to talk about. It really is just about reworking the details that we have laid down. Now, as I've mentioned, the next thing we need to do is retopology. And if you've bought this course soon after release, there's a chance that it's not out yet. And if that's the case, don't worry about it. You'll be finding it in your inbox very soon. And besides, you have more than enough to be working on for the time being. Now, I'm really proud of you for making it all the way to the end, and don't forget, please do tag me on social media and show me what you managed to create with this. I always love to see them. And good luck. See you for retopology.